The alcoholic thinking is unbelievable. It's definitely a sober illness. I talk a lot about this stuff, but I really help a lot of my niche, so to speak, is I help the families and friends of the alcoholic and addict. And a lot of people don't understand what makes you an expert in this area. What makes you so, well, for one thing, I am an alcoholic addict. I am a codependent. I was running a treatment center. A lot of you know my story. I was the executive director of a 30-bed inpatient detox, 30-bed detox and inpatient treatment center here in Palm Springs, California. And when I did that, I was dealing with the family, the friends, the employers of these alcoholics and addicts as well. And I decided one day, after being there for quite some time, I was like, we should really, if we really want to do this war on drugs thing, we should set up a treatment center for the family, because I think that's the best way that we can help the alcoholic addict. The things I saw were unbelievable, and all done in the name of love. But I was thinking it would be great. A codependent would come in, just like the alcoholic and addict. If you've ever been to treatment, you come in, you have to turn in your phone, you have to give them your wallet. They lock all your stuff up, and you go into detox. And just like the alcoholic and addict who will walk right out the door after a day or two, I think a lot of codependents would walk out the door. They couldn't take it. They couldn't take not being connected with their loved one that needs them, right? And I really saw the necessity for explaining what alcoholism really is, what it takes to really get someone sober. Sorry, I'm gonna have to have some of my coffee. What it takes to really get someone sober, and really explain that. Because if you don't understand, it just sounds like I'm a bitch, right? The other reason that I do it is I am a codependent, and I don't talk a lot about in Al-Anon they call them qualifiers, the person that do that, because I do that with everyone. First thing, my codependency, it's like alcoholism. It's not just with an alcoholic, it's not just the drinking, and with me as a codependent, it's not just that person, it's me, it's my relationships. I have battled with several codependent relationships, but the main one is it's the winner chicken dinner of all codependency relationships, which is your child. And I don't talk a lot about specifics. You'll have to forgive me, for their benefit. It's one thing for me to come on and blast myself, put myself on blast out here, but I don't want to divulge too much about them, because that's just not fair. I talk in vague terms, and you're just going to have to use that and understand. She's talking about her own situation. But the thing about mine is that because I am an alcoholic addict and a codependent, and you might have this situation too, I have a lot of guilt. I had that relapse. If you've watched my story, I had that relapse, and when I came back to a whole shit show, right? And the guilt of my own alcoholism, the things I'd done, the things I didn't do, the whole gamut just made that codependency worse. And I was killing myself with this codependency and this really distorted thinking about me, the role I played in this person's life. Very enmeshed. I have a lot of issues. I have a lot of issues. I'm adopted, so I have abandonment issues, and I've got issues, right? We all have issues. And those kind of things all bundle up into a mess. And while it may seem very obvious with this one relationship, it's in all my relationships. You can see the pattern. And I had to do something different. And I didn't realize the connection until the doctor I was seeing this doctor, a psychologist, and I was seeing the doctor because the person in my life wouldn't see the doctor. I thought, well, if they won't get help, I'll get help. That's a good idea. And they told me when I was working at the treatment center, they were comparing, right, me to the people I was talking to on the phone. When I was doing the admissions, I did all the admissions. And they started comparing it. And I was like, oh my God. Now, that's very similar when I was talking about going to meetings. A lot of people hate meetings, but I'm telling you what, you're not there to make friends and influence people, right? You're there so you can see the shit that you can't see in yourself, right? I could see very clearly when he was going, hey, didn't you tell me you talked to a woman from New York and she was doing this and this and this? Didn't you tell me that? And I went, oh my God, right? I could see it then all of a sudden in myself. Does that make sense? So there is power in community. And I'm really excited. I've finally put together a community, just waiting for it to get approved through the App Store. I've been back and forth, in and out with it. But I put together a community for the friends and families of the alcoholics on an app so that everyone can get together and support each other. Not just me supporting you, but a whole community of people going through the same thing. That is paramount in any kind of recovery. Even if you have a loved one you've lost, I recommend you get in a grief group. I recommend you get in a group of people that have done what you're trying to do, or at least a couple steps ahead of you, right? And a couple people that are a few steps behind you, because you can help them, which reinforces what you know. So if that is, that has been a question, why as an alcoholic addict are you yapping on for the family and friends? Well, ultimately, I believe it's the best way to help the alcoholic and addict. One of the best ways, right? Come in from the flank. And the other is because I have suffered and struggled, and I have seen how my own codependency has hindered the situation. It has made it worse. Right? People end up resenting you. So I don't want that to happen to you. So, send me your questions. Otherwise, I'm going to keep talking. And hopefully this is reaching the person that it's supposed to reach. And I know you're there. Or I wouldn't be doing this.